As I went walking that crooked highway, I saw above me an endless skyway. I saw below me a golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, and this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. I've roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps through the sparkling sands of your diamond deserts. And all around me, a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, and this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I didn't mean to stop the song, but you know, it's too late. But I'm going through the papers this morning and yesterday and all, and you got so much stuff going on in the world right now. Crazy stuff. I mean, you got, you know, flood and famine, earthquakes, disease, disasters. You got the tsunamis and the hurricanes and the tornadoes, and you got the snow and the ice storm, and you got the rain, and you got the flood, and that's just the regular stuff. That's just anywhere in the world, some of that stuff is going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to mention the stuff people are doing to each other on top of that. People are crazy. I mean, everywhere. Even here in this country, people treating each other mean, whatever, you know. And you wonder if anybody can do anything about it. If any one person can make a difference of some kind. And so you vote for this guy or that gal, whatever you do. And most of the time you end up asking the same question. You know what I'm saying? But it reminded me of that story of Joseph. I was doing this out in Utah. They had a whole other Joseph going on for the longest time. I'm talking about the original Joseph, the one with the coat. And he had the brothers, and the brothers didn't like their brother Joseph very much, not just because he had the coat, but they was pretty sure that their pop liked Joseph more than them. They might have been right. I didn't read it that carefully. It seemed like one morning they got up, the brothers got up early anyhow, went down the road like they did every morning, feeding the flocks or something, you know. And Joseph must have slept in that morning. Because his pop come down there and say, "Hey Joseph, what are you doing hanging around the house, dude? Why aren't you down the road helping your brothers and stuff?" I'm obviously paraphrasing. Joseph said, "Oh, okay." So he gets himself together, he goes down the road to where his brothers are supposed to be. But they're not there. Now the Bible says that there's a man, doesn't even have a name, just an anonymous dude standing in a field saying, "They went that way." Joseph said, "Oh, okay." So Joseph goes down the road, sure enough, runs into his brothers. Meanwhile, the brothers been plotting against him the whole time. Some say, "Let's do this to him." Some say, "No, let's do that to him." They can't make up their mind, but somehow Joseph ends up sold into slavery in a caravan, is going down to Egypt. He gets down, ends up in a jail, in a cell, with a couple of big bruisers. Nothing changes. Not only that, one of these bad guys in there is having bad dreams. Like it ain't bad enough. But Joseph is good with dreams. So Joseph's treating out the guy. And the guy says, "Joseph, if I ever get out of here, buddy, I'll do something for you. I'll help you out." Sure enough, the guy gets out. Forgets about his buddy Joseph. Start rising up in the ranks, getting close to the Pharaoh or something. A few years goes by. One day the Pharaoh starts having some strange dreams. He calls for his pipe and his fiddlers three, whatever. They come on out there, they can't make enough. Now everybody in Egypt is nervous. The Pharaoh got the strange look in his eyes, having strange dreams. Nobody knows what's going on. We've been there. All of a sudden this guy said, "Wait a minute. I know somebody that's good with dreams." He remembers his buddy Joseph. He goes down to jail and gets him out. He brings him up to the Pharaoh. Introduce him, Joe, Pharaoh, Joe. And the Pharaoh started talking about the dream. And Joseph said, "Oh, that's easy. You're going to have 7 good years, rain to be falling, wheat fields waving in the wind. It's going to be very nice. But it's going gonna be followed by 7 bad years where the rain's gonna quit and the wheat fields turns to dust and blows away. It's gonna be bad. And the Pharaoh said, whoa. And he looked around. He said, fiddlers, you out of here, you didn't do nothing. Joe, you the man. And he puts Joseph in charge of everything. And Joseph builds some granaries to put some stuff aside during the good time in case the bad time should come, like what he's saying. And sure enough, it comes. It's bad. It's not just bad in Egypt, it's bad everywhere. So back at the farm, Pop and the boys are sitting around. Pop says, it's bad. He said, well, some of you boys go down to Egypt, see what they're doing. So he sent a few of the boys down to Egypt. To make a long story short, they run into their brother, Joseph. He said, hey, it's me, Joseph. They're going, He said, don't worry about that. Go home, get Pop, the women, the children, the flocks, and everybody. Bring them on down to Egypt. We'll be living house to hog. Not the words he would have used. Sure, that's what they did. Living generation after generation, doing pretty good. Till one year, they got a bad crop of pharaohs or something. It happens. That's a whole different story, though. I don't know where. That's Moses. I've been thinking about Moses. I've been doing this over 40 years. I know how the man feels. I just hope it doesn't take another 40 years to get somewhere. Of course, that's what happened to them. But out of that, comes some good stuff. David and Goliath. That was good. I like that. And out of that family come Jesus later on. Now it's a couple of 1,000 years after that. I mean, there's a lot of history I've just been through here in a very short amount of time. And there might be a lot of people here that's very not, thinking one part of it's more important, something like that, than any other part. But I'm here to remind you all that all of this history, every single piece and part of it depends upon one unknown, anonymous dude standing in a field saying, hey, went that way. There's no Pharaoh, Moses, David, Goliath, Jesus. If you ever wondered what one person could do in this world, wonder no more. You don't have to know anything. You can just be sitting around. Somebody say, which way they go? And the whole freaking world could hinge on you. And you wouldn't even know about it. And I'm sure that man is standing around somewhere saying, I should have given my name. Too late, Bubba. But there's a verse about it. The sun came shining, and I was rolling, the wheat fields waving, the dust clouds rolling, the fog was lifting, and a voice was chanting, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, and this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I actually remember when I learned this song. I was in the 5th grade. And I remember it because I wasn't doing anything in the 5th grade. I just stopped. I refused. And so my mom took me out of the regular school and put me into one of these progressive schools so I could progress. I remember I walked in the first day of the new school, all the kids were standing up that morning singing my father's song, This Land is Your Land. I was the only one there who didn't know the words. Nobody told me my father's songs was famous outside of our house. When you're a kid, you don't think of that stuff. I ran home, I was crying that day, and my father took me out in the backyard and made me bring him this little 3/4 size Gibson guitar he'd given me on my 5th birthday, which I still have. Taught me the chords, taught me the words. And when I had that much done, he taught me some verses that wasn't in the school book version. So when I went back the next day, I went back armed. The last one went something like this, and I'll leave it with you. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go